Video script. Thach Sanh, Vietnamese folk hero. Background music. Bamboo flute and zither, birds chirping, wind blowing gently in the forest. Narration. Once upon a time, long ago, in a peaceful countryside, there was a 100-year-old banyan tree whose shade covered the entire area. There lived a gentle, honest young man named Thach Sanh, a man blessed with extraordinary strength by heaven. At that time, there was an old couple who made a living by cutting wood in the deep forest. They lived kindly, but were old and had no children. One day, heaven took pity on them and sent a fairy down to tell them in a dream. Not long after, the old woman gave birth to a handsome baby boy named Thach Sanh, meaning born from stone. He grew up in the forest, healthy and hardworking. When his parents passed away, Thach Sanh lived alone under a banyan tree, hunting and gathering every day. Although his life was simple, it was peaceful and gentle. Light music, the sound of rolling carts, footsteps. One day, a merchant named Li Thong passed through the forest. Seeing Thach Sanh strong and honest, Li Thong had the idea to take advantage of him. He said sweetly, "Is greater than, my dear, I see you are very gentle and strong. Why don't we become sworn brothers? Come back to my house and work together. We can rely on each other." Thach Sanh was very happy to hear that and immediately accepted. From then on, he lived with Li Thong, considering him as his real brother. Who would have thought that was the beginning of his deceitful days? The music became creepy. The drums beat rapidly, the roars in the distance. At that time, in the area there was a vicious Chun Tin who often caught people to eat. Every year, the villagers had to pay a human life to prevent it from causing trouble. When it was Li Thong's turn, he was afraid of death, so he tricked Thach Sanh into going instead. Thach Sanh believed him and happily agreed to guard the temple. Night fell, dark clouds gathered, the wind howled. From the deep cave, the ogre appeared, its eyes red as fire, its mouth spewing black smoke. Thach Sanh was not afraid. He drew his magic sword and rushed into battle. After a fierce battle, he cut off the ogre's head, eliminating the disaster for the people. But as soon as he left, Li Thong sneaked in, took the ogre's head and presented it to the king, claiming credit for himself. The music changed to a gentle, slightly sad tone. A short while later, the king's daughter went to the festival and was unfortunately snatched away by the eagle spirit. While flying through the forest, the eagle dropped a silk scarf. Thach Sanh accidentally picked it up, recognized the strange traces, and immediately followed it to a deep cave in the mountain. He raised his magic bow, shot the eagle's wing, and climbed down the cave to save the princess. However, once again, the evil Li Thong tricked him. He lured Thach Sanh to the cave entrance, then pushed rocks to cover it up, trapping him underground in the dark, hoping to steal the credit again. Sad music. The sound of the zither resonated. In the darkness, Thach Sanh only had the magic zither that the fairy had given him long ago. He played gentle, sad, but clear melodies. The sound of the zither echoed far and wide, reaching the palace, causing the princess to cry, because she realized that it was the person who had saved her. The princess told the king to send someone down to the cave to look for him. When Thach Sanh was exonerated, everything was clear. Li Thong and his mother were punished, and he was greatly rewarded by the king and married the princess. The music was cheerful. The drums were bustling. After they became lovers, the country encountered foreign invaders. Thach Sanh did not need to use swords or knives. He just took out his magical lute and played it. The sound of the lute resounded passionately, moving the hearts of the enemy soldiers. They knelt down, admired, and surrendered. From then on, the country was peaceful. The people were prosperous, praising Thach Sanh as a national hero. People still pass on the saying, "Is greater than, good people will be rewarded. Dishonest people will also pay the price." The music gradually softened. The sound of the bamboo flute echoed far away. And so, The story of Thach Sanh, the gentle, brave young man, ended here. The story reminds us that kindness and justice will always triumph over evil. If you love Vietnamese fairy tales, subscribe to the channel, like, and share to preserve ancient values together, so that Vietnamese fairy tales will forever resonate in everyone's heart. Hello, and see you again in the next magical story. Closing music, the sound of the monochord, the image of a banyan tree appearing in the moonlight. The logo, telling Vietnamese fairy tales, gently appears.